Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Copasetic and the guy Pathogenic up here. We're
Train record.
let's go.
That's what
Yeah,
called me on Twitter.
real. That's real. It should be your nickname going forward. Um, I love it. Welcome to the show. We're just gonna do a little recap. There was a number of events that happened last weekend, and stop playing with the bag. Um, a number of events that happened last weekend. One of which was the banned blackout style event that the URL threw, and I don't know. There was a lot of that was a good event.
I
That
didn't
was
mind it.
yeah. Like I don't know about you, but the last few events they've been sort of like mid. I don't know. Like URL hypes up these big events like the volume and the whatever, and there's a lot of disappointment. I feel like there's a lot of choking. There's a lot of disappointment. There's a lot of lackluster. And then this event was, looked to be like, oh man, they scheduled it last minute. I heard
Mhm.
a lot of, they can only do one rounders. There's a lot of controversy. There's a lot of speculation about why and how these battles got set up. And I enjoyed it. Lots of good one rounders. Shit.
Yeah, I don't know. So, being completely honest, I started watching it, and at the beginning of the event, there were some stumbles and some choking, and I'm not going to lie, I took a nap and I missed some of the battles, all of the good ones pretty much. So, I got to rewatch those, and on rewatch, it would have been a good event in totality had I kept watching from the beginning.
And you stayed up.
But
Yeah, I mean, you played it safe. I don't think, in your shoes, anybody could begrudge you just passing out. God knows. The last few events have been like that. We would get the boys together. Me and Ellipsis and G Show and Renz and sometimes Gingerbread Man, and we would come and we would, make a night of it. And it's usually really like lackluster, and we end up going and watching Epharo battles afterwards or something, to just like cleanse the palate.
oh yeah,
um but but yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't blame you for passing out. So you ended up catching up on those battles, and you watched some of them back.
yeah. I watched pretty much every battle that I missed. I ended up catching it back, and they were pretty much all of the good ones. And I was thoroughly impressed with a lot of it. After knowing that it was on like 5 days prep, I was really impressed with some of these dudes
Yeah,
and the shit that they had. It was crazy.
yeah, no, yeah, really. I mean, whether or not they had rounds in the chamber or whatever that was, I think that no, I think it was a lot of like personalized material. It was a lot of like name flips, stuff that was specific to those opponents. And I mean, whatever the circumstances, most of the guys showed up and showed up like in a strong way, which is really impressive. So I
Yeah.
don't know about you, but I need a fucking month and a deposit and a whole bunch of shit to go right for me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's your prep at? Where are you at right now? I mean, you don't have to brag, but if you want to.
Uh, like when it comes to a battle,
Yeah.
man, the thing about me when it comes to battling is I never stop coming up with ideas. If somebody has ever even entertained the idea of me battling somebody, my brain starts going and I start writing shit down and I don't
Amazing.
stop. And then once the battle is set, I take all of it and then I start writing. And I could probably be done in maybe a week, and then I start memorizing, and then I start redoing my material the closer it gets to the battle day, adding stuff in, coming up with various things. Like with FFC, with Focus, I had all my rounds done, and then I came up with the Pope's Whip bulletproof glass bar while I was driving my car one day to my buddy's house, and I was like, "That's pretty good. I should probably add that in to a round somewhere." So that's pretty much where my prep is at when it comes to battling, I guess, these days anyway.
That's amazing.
So
Yeah, it's so interesting how everybody's process is so wildly different. With the sport, there's no like I remember when I was starting my very first battle, because I was covering the events for Hip Hop Vancouver, and I was just showing up to events and I was sponsoring, doing all the stuff that you would do without battling. And then I had my first battle versus Lil G, and I hit up Pigsty, who I'd been talking to at the time, and I was like, "What? How do I? What length do I? What?" And he's like, "I don't know, man." Okay, thanks. Cool. He's just like, just do it. Just go until you feel like you should stop. I was like, oh, all right. But everybody's got to, I mean, Lou Cypher was saying the other day that, since his Loso battle, he writes all in his head. He doesn't put any pen to paper, which is really cool.
Gosh.
And it sort of solves the memorization thing too, right? Because it's sort of like, it's already in there. It's been built in there. So, very, very interesting. If you wouldn't mind, actually, because we sort of skipped this part, but introduce yourself to the viewers at home. Pathogenic, you're a battler from Canada. What's up?
Yeah, my name's Pathogenic. I'm out of the Calgary, Alberta area. Zookeeper. So I currently work at the Discovery Wildlife Park. At least, I mean, I won't be working for like 9 months now, but other than that, there's not really that much about me that's cool.
Man, this guy won't talk himself up. Yo, if you don't know Pathogenic, man, he's been on No Coast. He's been on iBattle versus Father Focus Confucius. Check him out. His No Coast battle's great versus XLV. He was on GZ. He should have been on GZ from the jump, but I put him on PY because I'm an asshole. And his home league is Smoked Out Battles from Alberta. It's a good channel. Check them out. Subscribe. But yeah,
I'm the champ too. I guess I should probably plug that too. I'm the Smoked Out Battles champ.
You are also the champion of a league, so that's a good thing. Dope up and comer in Canada. Definitely check him out. Check his battles out. Very cool. Very glad to have you on. Because we're just fooling around here, but Path is the dude. So let's get into it. I mean, did you remember anything from Kid Slade versus Bad News? Because that's one I did not catch.
I remember watching it and thinking that it was a really close battle. Personally, I'm always, I don't want to say that I have a hate on for Bad News, but he definitely never strikes me as somebody that I'm impressed to watch.
Let's get this beat through.
But I do remember thinking that Kid Slade edged the battle. It was good. Like, neither of them choked. They both got all their material off. But Kid Slade I'm really impressed with him. I think that he's got a lot of cool shit going on. And yeah, I thought that he actually edged that battle.
Yeah, dope. Not choking on 5 days notice is 5 days prep. If it's just I don't know. It's really impressive. These guys, and that they feel confident enough to like perform. Like, we talk about the next battle because that's the one that I watched. LOL. Fawns versus Drugs. Like, Drugs is fucking performing. Holy shit! This is lightning in a bottle.
Oh my god!
Like, he's jumping around, bumping him. Like, I mean, the punches. It wasn't. I think it was like a lot of name flips and like landlord stuff and simple but effective punches, but he's performing the shit out of them. Just went off. Yeah.
Crazy. Drugs, man, there will be no drug slander towards me for this entire year at this point in time. Nobody can talk shit about drugs to me at this point. That man's crazy.
It took a long time for him to level up. Somebody was like, he's like the Pokemon who levels up at level 57. He reaches max level all the way there. Like, he's been around for a long time. I know, I've seen him. He's been on iBattle. He's been on lots of different leagues. But coming into his own now and really picking up steam in the culture. A lot of people are watching him. So
yes,
expect big plates. He did great.
Yeah,
I thought that was really good. Yeah.
Fawns
did okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I thought Fawns did okay too. I actually didn't mind his stuff, despite the stumbles and everything. Like, all things considered, if he doesn't stumble and he does get all his shit off clean, that's actually a debatable battle in my opinion. Because Fawns is crazy.
Yeah, he was really good. Yeah, no, definitely. The stumbles, it's like who Disaster is back on Twitter, and he was saying, I don't know if you follow him at Disaster Band or Band Disaster or something. He was saying you really can't throw any shade at any of the battlers on the band card because they did it in such short, like you're putting your brand on the line. You're putting your brand at risk for such a short period of prep time. And yeah, I mean, Fonz, you can tell that he's got a lot of shit, and if he'd had, more than 5 days to prepare, could have been some shit. Could have been close.
Exactly.
Yeah, good battle. Ryden versus Shotgun. Speaking of people choking, and I mean, Shug is great. Shug is sort of already solidified in the culture. I don't really think there can be anything that he could do that would affect his reputation. The people who love him, and the people who don't like him, don't like him. So
couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, it was more of like a test for Ryden. Like, what are you going to do if we put you up against a big name again?
That's exactly how I looked at it too, and I thought that Ryden was impressive.
Yeah, similar to Drugs, he's like selling the shit out of his material. He's like going off, and I think I mean, you can't. Yeah, Ryden. I'm not super familiar with Ryden. He's like. He's dope. I know about the Mike P shit, and but I haven't seen like a ton of him, so I don't really know his history or anything about him. But just there, it's a decent showing against a big name. These battles sort of don't mean anything. Like, I'm interested to see how they count against the champion of the year discussion, because the guys who did well, it's great. It's a great look, but the guys who didn't well, it's not really like. I don't know.
It's not super detrimental in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Yeah. And even like if you did well against somebody who didn't do well, like somebody who choked, like Drugs doing well against Fonz, it's like, okay, yeah, that's good. You did a good round against Fonz, who was, he was all right, but wasn't anything. And Ryden, you did good against Shug, who, I mean, it's just one round. You can even go up the card and say like real name Brandon, you did good. I mean, you did decently against fucking nothing. Like, that's you could have spit your bars into the camera.
Exactly. Really... Like, I honestly feel bad for real name Brandon in that situation. Yeah. Like, could you imagine getting the opportunity to go up against Twerk and he just stands there and chokes for 7 minutes straight?
You know what I heard a lot of, though, is that you got to have something. You got to have something, right? You got to know that like, he'll probably see that performance and never be unprepared for that particular scenario again. But, this is a moment, when we talk about the energy in the room and the momentum that somebody has, here is a moment and you can use it to your advantage, or you can, and he just sort of started into his raps, and it's like, well, you're sort of, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but you're also missing out on an opportunity. Sharon wasn't even in the fucking battle, and he's had some shit, about Twerk's choke. And it's like, that's money on the table. If you don't take it, So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't fault him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, I think that, the way I've been thinking about it, especially, lately, is there's it's a brain chemistry thing, right? Everybody in the audience, everybody who's watching at home, we're all thinking about different things. And when you can build a storyline and you can bring somebody along, like you do this really well. With your championship battle, when you took the chain from Craig Maben, it's a great battle, but you were bringing us along with this Top Gun scheme. And it was, and I was like, at the beginning, I was like, where's he going with this? There was a little bit of setup, and then you sort of brought us along, and now you've got everybody sort of in the mode of thinking about, Top Gun and how it relates to your championship. And then you started punching with it. And it's like, okay, you've got everybody's focus on this one particular thing. And then as you're telling the story, you get to the punches and everybody's already there. They can expect it. They can see it coming. This is not a random punch. This is not I wrote 16 bars of just of things that are dope similes or dope punches or metaphors or whatever. It's like you're bringing people through the story to the punchline that is that much more impactful. There's a build up to it. But it has to do with the audience and everybody sort of being on the same page relatively. Yep. And when you have somebody like Twerk and he's choking and there's so much history there and there's that's the biggest storyline. You've got everybody on the same page. Everybody's already there with you. So you can just flip it and you can just do something with it because everybody will react because they're expecting that. They're queued up, as it were.
Yep.
So, oh no.
Yeah, you have the ball set on your tee and you just got to fucking swing without even looking at it. You're going to hit it. Right? Like that's one of those things everyone's waiting for. We're all ready. And it was, again, like you said, you don't fault him for just starting his round, but at the same point in time, it sucks leaving that kind of easy open angle on the table.
There too. It's queued up for everyone until the ball is hit. That ball is teed up. Like Sharon hit it later in the thing, and everybody still clicked and reacted because it was still there. You could still do it. Like anything that happens in the event. So that'll probably be a learning thing for him. And I mean, like, I don't know. I don't want to say like, oh, this is a learning experience for real name branding because like he's out here on fucking big URL.
URL Rookie of the Year, a learning lesson for him.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes and see if they bring him out east if they start doing events out east and what that looks like. But there's an easy win for RNB. What's next? Holmesy versus Loso. I'm not a big Loso guy, but I respect people who are, and that's fine. I saw his battle with Excel the first time I saw him. That's the first time I saw him was his battle versus Excel, and he just did name flips. It was just Excel, Exhale, Exhale. Like it was 3 rounds of name flips, and they were reachy name flips. And I thought, I don't like this guy, but I'm sure he's a nice guy, and I'm sure he's got lots of good battles, and there's a reason that he's on this card. But I don't know. What did you think?
The tough thing about Loso is that I personally think that he's a lot better than what he showed against Holmesy. I don't actually think that his Holmesy performance was what he wanted it to be, or I didn't think it was that great either. And I thought Holmesy had a great performance. He had a lot of really good, solid material. He had one of the better haymakers of the night, I thought, when he called him Pastor Cavassier, making fun of his drinking and stuff, which I thought was hilarious. But it was definitely one of those moments where I thought that, it was almost like Loso kind of mailed it in, on a 5-day prep, 1-rounder against Holmesy to God. It almost seemed like he kind of phoned it in. But, I mean, who am I to say that, right? Like, it's not like I know.
Yeah, we can't really fault these guys for sure. But yeah, good for Holmesy because I like Holmesy. He's dope. What about Big T? I didn't end up watching this, but I heard a lot about it. Like he was incoherent. Like you couldn't really hear what was going on with him, or like he was, I don't know.
He was quiet. It was really quiet at the start, and then I don't know. There's time. Like I saw somebody today say that they want to see Big T versus Head Ice because they want a battle where nobody really understands what the fuck either guy is saying. Because that's kind of what it seemed like. I was like, what? I was like, T, what are you even talking about? It was weird. And Ace went crazy. Like he really stuck it to him, I thought, which is actually funny too, because Charlie Clips was saying the whole time in the pre-show that Big T was going to have the best performance out of anybody on the night. And Surf and Jay Black were looking at him like, what are you talking about, bro? There's no way that Big T's having performance of the night. And he definitely did not.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. I wonder where that comes from because it's not like he doesn't have it in him. God knows we've seen, Big T is he's legendary status. He's up there in the names, and he hasn't been as active in the last few years, but he's got a bunch of classic moments in battle rap history. Like this is a
Yep.
guy who can fucking battle. He can rap. So
Yep.
it's like you said, 5 days. Who knows what happened? Or what happened in that prep time. Anything could have happened in your real life too. So,
Well, and it was 5 days, like for Big T specifically, it was 5 days, but it was even less than that since he battled last, because he just battled Lou Castro on Midnight Madness for their belt at the end of February.
okay.
So he had 5 days prep for the battle itself, but comparatively from the last time he battled until this time was even shorter than a lot of the other battlers that were on the card.
Yeah, that's wild. Damn. Midnight Madness is dope. You check that shit out?
Yeah. I've seen the battles that have dropped on the like I've seen None and Snake Eyes, and I saw J2 in Bad News.
Yeah. It's dope. It's a dope concept. I'm intrigued as to where it goes. It's very interesting.
Me too, because when I first saw it announced, I honestly thought that it wasn't going to go anywhere, and it was kind of just going to get shot in the foot and run into the ground, but it seems like it's going well. So
yeah, I think you're right to be skeptical. I think everybody who was skeptical I think it's, fair play. You got a bunch of battle rappers, not really, organizers. They don't really there's no real structure that I'm aware of that a normal league would have, or it felt like it was, I don't know. It felt like it was shaky, but it's coming through and it looks dope. And, we'll have to see how the judging goes. I hope that they reach out to the IJC. That would be dope. Get some sort of independent judges going so there's no scrutiny about, bias and things like that. Yeah, I mean, lots of money, judged battles. It's madness at midnight. It's wild. We'll see. See what happens. Maybe it grows and get some Canadians in there.
Yeah, who knows?
Be dope. Love to see Path versus anybody for thousands of dollars. Let's go.
I can't stay up to midnight, bro. My bedtime's like 8 o'clock. So
okay. Did you see Real Sick versus JC?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
two of my faves.
I can tell you right now, I, as a battle rapper, am not scared of many people, but I am scared of Real Sick.
Yeah.
That man is scary, bro, especially what he can do on 5 days. Like, the other thing about it is when you're looking at everyone in comparison to him thus far, guys that are stumbling, guys that are choking, and then having him get up there and float in between these various rhyme pockets that he has almost effortlessly, going through it and punching at the same time like that. I don't know, man. What a great battle.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, no, he's insanely well-rounded. He has everything. Feels like he has every tool at his disposal. He does it really well. The physical intimidation too. Like, I mean, it can't be discounted. You can have all of the intangibles in your arsenal because this is an art form of the mind. Really, this is really about how you control yourself up here. But also, he's a big fucking guy. He's a fucking big, imposing human being. It's like this is the full package. So, and I'm a big JC fan. I love JC. I feel like he's had a real evolution. Like he's really he's sort of changed over the years. I know that it happens with guys who are notorious for their pen. People who they get praised for how they write all the time. They start to write like everybody expects me to be this crazy writer, and that's really difficult to maintain. I think he's had an evolution, and I think he's in a different space now than he was easily like 3-4 years ago. So
yeah, I agree with that completely. Because I don't know if it was joining EFB or if it was ever since the interviews and all the rumors came out about him and his health. But it seems like ever since those things happened, he's stepped his game up even more so than it had been previously. I really like that battle though, and I saw that Smack had said something about JC and Real Sick being a 3-rounder in the future. That was something that they were entertaining.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I don't know how that works. Like, yeah, you do these 1-rounders and then you got to do them again for 3 rounds. Like, maybe like a year from now or something. Like, I don't really want to see it right now. Like we just had the battle.
I agree.
No, it's like that was the whole complaint about the 1-rounders in the first place. It's like, why are we? I mean, if it's short notice, I understand you got to do something. I guess there's an obligation to do something, but yeah, like I don't know. A lot of the circumstances would be different if these were 3-round battles. Yeah, but JC, what do you think? I mean, solid battle, right? I mean, JC's super aggressive now.
His performance, especially towards the end of his round, was different than I had seen before. It was almost like Real Sick getting in his face during his round turned him up to another level. It was really impressive to see.
That's cool. Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, I really like that performance.
Yeah, hopefully we get a bunch more Real Sick 2022 because yeah, his stock just keeps climbing. What did I see? T-Top versus Emerson Kennedy. Emerson Kennedy had a diabetes. I'm not the type 2 bar, and I'm like, I can't go there with you. I know you're driving the bus, but this is my stop. This is where I get off. Fuck.
Emerson's really good at that.
Cool.
Emerson's really good at that. He'll have really out there material that really makes you think, and you go, wow, that was very creative and impressive. And then he'll also have some other stuff that it's like, that is not the first, second, or third time I've heard that before, and I'm kind of done with it at this point in time. Even the lights thing.
He runs the gamut.
Even the lights thing, technically, Quirk did that against Sharon in their battle on whatever Philadelphia league that was, with the King of the Dot blackout game. But it was still kind of cool.
He was also, it was dope. He was also talking about how the band, the URL band, was not at all like KOTD Blackout, and it's like, I mean, come on, like what do we do? It's so obvious that it's not even a thing. Like, cause let's talk about that, because band is, they took the stylistic, they took the flyer, even the aesthetic of the flyer is the same as KOTD Blackout. Like, that's the thing. And like, whatever, man, like I'm very fond of KOTD, but business is business, and sometimes you steal ideas, and that's sort of part of it. And if you can get away with it, more power to you, because like it's a dog eat dog world out here. It's a dog eat dog world, and like, this is the Wild West. And if they try to throw something together and they want to steal this format, then the fans decide whether or not that's acceptable or not. And really, like, I think at the end of the day, when KOTD throws a fucking blackout, like, that's a big deal. Like, it's not the same. It wasn't the same. Yeah. They didn't have the Rolodex, the fucking verses, it wasn't the same at the end. So like, I'm not super mad at it. I'm not like upset. I think all of the fans understood that that's what was going on. It was like, I don't know. What did you think?
I thought that being upset, more so, it didn't come from the idea being stolen necessarily. It came from the small percentage of weird fans that defended it and said that it wasn't stealing, when it was very clear that it was in the first place. And I was like, you know what? What are you looking at that you can tell me with a straight face that this isn't the same thing? And that's kind of where I was at with it, right? Like, and it's, I don't know. It was frustrating in that regard. And it's frustrating because it's not the first time, right? It's not the first time that that URL has sort of taken an idea and put their own spin on it, and everyone goes, "Wow, they're so innovative," and it's like not
I saw
theirs,
Smack
but
call
okay.
the Crucible. I saw Smack call the Crucible. He was like, "Oh, season 1 of the Crucible." And I was like, "That's not a season. Come on, get out of here." That's cute. But yeah, no, I mean, you know, yeah, this is a really exciting time for battle rap, and I think that's a big takeaway too. Is for me, anyways, it really feels like we're at the front lines of history. You know, it's always history is always being made, and you know, URL comes in with caffeine, KOTD comes in with Twitch. You know, there's the drama with RBE and the contracts and all that stuff. There's so much happening right now that battle rap is still very much up in the air, and the future is very undecided. So, you know, people are gonna, you know, fight and claw for their brands, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, at the end of the day, you know, I feel like the most important thing was for URL to throw a good event, and they did. They throw a pretty good event, and it doesn't match up to Blackout. It was just a little bit of free entertainment for us.
Yep.
Not so bad.
Yeah, exactly. Something to fall asleep to for me.
Something to fall asleep to. That's how you do it. Chaos versus B Dot. Kid Chaos. Yeah. Wow, this is the best B Dot that I've seen. I'm really not into B Dot, but man, he was like punching. I felt like he was punching a lot more. I don't know.
This was a great battle across the board. I thought Dot was good, and I thought that Chaos was really, really good. And I guess that's what happens when you put two. You know, this was what you would consider to be a real good style clash, with both of them being sort of pen performance guys. But I knew that Dot was going to have something because he'd been talking on Twitter about his like red hoodie variant. You know, he's all into the Lux comparisons, and now there's red hoodie Dot. So I figured he was going to come with something. But I was also I don't know. I didn't expect it to be as crazy as it was.
Yeah. No, I mean, with B Dot a lot, especially, you know, I think there's. I'm just going to be honest. I think there's punches that I don't understand. That's fair. You know, as a fan, there's shit that I'm just not going to get, and that's like, you know, it is what it is. I'm not going to make excuses for that, but a lot of his stuff I felt like was very schemy and very, you know, not really very grounded in the shit that I like. The shit that I like is, you know, that fucking really clear, concise punches like this, and you know that chain of meanings and double meanings that allows you to just be like, whoa, that works a number of different ways, and it's fucking really cool, and not just, you know, like I'm gonna do a scheme about soap now, you know, or like I'm gonna turn into a scheme about the Jungle Book, which is gonna turn into a scheme about cars, you know, like it's sort of like you have to follow a bunch of different threads to know what's going on. And I feel like for this battle, he was like, punch it. Like, here's the fucking story, and I'm hitting with it, which is great.
Yep.
So I reacted a lot to that. So.
Yeah, I thought it was a good battle.
Yeah. B-Dot, good for you, man. Hey, if we're taxing you too much, you just let me know, and we'll cut short. For those who don't know, Pathogenic just fought a train, has just gotten out of fighting hand-to-hand combat with a large locomotive. So he's in recovery right now, and he's healing up. But yeah, do you want to touch on that a little bit? Just let them know what happened.
I can. I can touch on a little bit from what I remember, because I actually don't remember anything about the accident. Although it happened about 10 a.m. on January 10th, and I don't remember anything from that whole morning until like the night prior was the last thing that I remember. But basically, what ended up happening was I got T-boned by a train in my car. The train was going about 55 kilometers an hour, and it was across my railway for work. It's a private railroad crossing, and I ended up getting T-boned. I broke 16 ribs, punctured both my lungs, and broke a vertebrae in my back. And I actually ended up dying. In the situation, they revived me in the ambulance, and they had just intubated me with an oxygen tube. So I didn't they were trying to revive me for like 3-4 minutes before they brought me back. So I didn't actually have any brain damage from oxygen loss because of the intubation from the tube. But they revived me just in time to fly me out to the Foothills Hospital in Calgary, and they saved me, and I was in ICU for about 10 days, I think it was. I was in the hospital and for total of like 20 some days, almost 3 weeks.
It's fucking amazing. It's fucking amazing.
I'm pretty lucky dude, that's for sure.
Man, God was like, no, not this is wrong. Not right now.
Yeah, he was like, not today, bro.
In the back. Yeah, we got more for you. Crazy shit, man. I appreciate you jumping on, for real. It's really dope.
Yeah, of course, no worries. I'm chilling in bed. I've got my bed wedge here. I'm all comfy. I can't sleep lying down. I got to be sitting upright.
Oh, really?
So I'm in my spot. I'm feeling good.
Sick. That's fucking so cool, man. Warms my heart. Really dope shit. Yeah. That's really, really crazy. I think a lot of us, I reached out to a bunch of people, to try and get a well wishes video, and people were just stunned. People were just like, I don't think, any of us, very few of us have had experience with like that type of, the realness of that incident. And, to see you on the other side of it is just like, it's amazing. Anyways, I don't want to fucking go crazy, but it's really amazing.
I can honestly say that the reach out from the Battlerap community was the nicest thing. It was so, I can't even describe how much I appreciated it. I have had people from all over North America, England, South America, or South Africa, sorry, not South America, that have been reaching out from the Battlerap community and checking in with me, and it absolutely means the world to me. I don't think I'd be here today without the Battlerap community.
That's it. Yeah, we have, we're still a niche of a niche little, community. And when something like that happens to one of us, I feel like it affects us all. And yeah, especially, the people who know you know that you're dope inside and outside the ring. You're a dope guy, a dope human being. And we like having you on this side. I appreciate that. You stick around a little bit, at least.
Yeah, I think it was a good call. I think surviving was a good call.
Yeah, if you had to choose. So let's get into the real shit. Because we could go all day on this. We will. We'll leave the main event to the main event. We'll leave that to the end. But Chess versus Jack Boy Maine.
Ooh,
man, Jack Boy in fucking one rounders. What is going on?
Jack Boy Maine, comeback of the year. That guy fucking earned it.
It's almost like if you reach the depths that he's reached, you realize there's nothing that can happen to you. It's like, when the whole battle rap community is like clowning on you, it's like, actually, this doesn't kill me. The real life shit that I have to deal with is much more serious, and battle rap is just whatever. And that sort of frees you up to like spaz. And I felt like he was just, I don't know. That's crazy.
He was going crazy against Chess.
Yeah.
Easily one of the best performances of the night. I would say top 3.
Totally. Yeah.
And huge stock riser, in my opinion, especially being against Chess, because Chess is so good normally also. So I don't know. I really liked that battle. I thought Jack Boy's material was crazy.
Again, we're going to, preface this with 5 days prep. Totally understand. But was chess light? Like
Yeah,
a little bit light.
yeah,
I was
slightly.
expecting.
Lots of jack flips, especially at the beginning of his round. You know, the easy low hanging fruit that you could grab for a round. And you can tell. Here's the other thing: I watch a lot of battles. I love Battlerap. I love watching battlers. You can tell when somebody kind of took things lightly too, based on how they act when the other person is wrapping their shit. So Chess being as reactive to Jack Boy's stuff, smiling, having a good time, kind of goofing around, that tells me that he wasn't really there for the kill. You know, he was kind of there just, again, not phoning it in, 5 days prep, but not at the same capacity he was for like Tay Rock back in the day, or even Easy the Block Captain recently.
Right. Yeah, you gotta think like for these guys, it's a fun event like that for the battlers, for the people there. That must have been a great event just for like vibing, just for having a good time with everybody. And oh, what's up? Shouts out to Willie. Shouts out to Willie. Willie B. Faithful. Check out Willie B. Faithful's battles on King of the Dot. That's my guy. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a good time. He's having a good time. You're right. He didn't come there for the kill, and Jack Boy just fucking went off. So like, hey, good for them. Good battle. And like you said, you know, it's just a one rounder. We don't know how it's going to factor into Champion of the Year stuff or what the weight of it is, but his stock definitely went up. He did amazing, and people are talking about him in a positive way. So,
yeah,
you know, I don't think anybody can go around being like, hey, I did this one rounder. And I mean, well, we'll get into the next battle, because like maybe Nun can do that. Like he went from a guy who's PGs and bothering A Ward in a way that doesn't look good for him, like bothering A Ward, to, man, you just had a debatable with Rum Nitty.
Yep. Crazy. Like, something I would have never expected, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, Rum was incredible too. Like, God knows.
Yes.
The writing is just fucking insane, and the levels to the way that he's punching, and like he's, you know, Rum Nitty's Rum Nitty. As there's so much replay value in that, and there's so much that he brings to the table there. But I don't think that Nun got his ass kicked. I don't think that Nun even lost badly. I thought it was a good, close battle.
I thought it was a close battle. Everything I've seen on any social media said that it was close. Never once saw anyone say that Nun got his ass kicked. So, you know, I think that's another one of those situations where it definitely bodes well for Nun, even in a situation where you might have lost, air quotations, you might have lost the round or whatever. It still ends up looking good for him.
Right, especially the controversy on the Midnight Madness battle versus Snake Eyes. You know, I watched that back, and it's close. I think there's people who, you know, see it one way and people who see it the other way, but having a close battle is not bad. So, you know, Nun made a promise 2022. He was going to run through everybody, and he's looking like he's looking pretty good on his promise so far. But yeah, he's got to keep it up, because if he has a bad battle, or like, I don't know, if he sort of falls off for a little bit, then people are going to forget about him. You know, it's one of those things where to have a meteoric rise, and this is just my opinion, obviously, but when Real Sick came up and he was really hot, it was like he kept getting opportunities and he kept killing them. He kept doing a great job. It was like, you know, amazing battle after amazing battle. It was either going to be an amazing battle or a body bag if you booked Real Sick. So, you know, Nun needs that type of consistency. I think that's what people are looking for this year.
I agree completely.
But a good start.
Yeah, I definitely do. And he honestly better watch out for A Ward, because that's one of those situations where you may bite off a little more than you could chew in a battle with A Ward, because he's a fucking scary dude, man.
I underrated A Ward for the longest time, and And everybody who saw him live told me, you can't really tell through the camera. You have to see. And I think too as well, when A Ward was starting out, his pen wasn't that great. It was just performance.
I agree.
But over time, he's become incredibly well-rounded. He's so versatile and electric in the room. It's really another, like you said, it's he could be biting off more than he can chew, because that could be really crazy for sure. For Nun.
Definitely.
A Ward's very, we were talking about the main event, but we were talking about A Ward battling Geechee in LA, and it's like having a debatable with Geechee in LA is very top of the top tier level shit.
Yep.
It's kind of undeniable, whether you thought Geechee won or not.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Mike P gets his wish. Man,
he gets his shot.
Everybody was talking about this.
Oh my God.
Because I moderate the forum r/rap battles, which is the fucking stream that we're on. For those who don't know, but my God, like as soon as the event ends, I'm deleting threads, because you got to keep it in the post game thread. We got a post event discussion thread. I want to keep it all there. We don't want to fucking fill up the fucking page with a bunch of like, oh, Geechee took Mike's soul and blah 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 blah. But man, people were posting that, and I eventually just gave up and just let people post. Like, man, you just probably 30 threads out here talking about Mike P and how he should have done something different, or what he should have done different. But yeah, how did you see that going down?
I belong to the camp where I really think that what Mike said was a good round. Everything that he had written was good material. I think that he fell into a terrible circumstance of battling Geechee in Geechee's backyard, where Geechee had an angle that completely turned the crowd against Mike. And at that point, there was nothing that Mike could have said that was going to crawl back from that situation. So I won't sit here and say that Mike did bad, because I think that Mike is a professional, and I am a fan of his. Geechee just played it perfectly. He strategized it exactly how and laid it out, and it went exactly how he wanted it to. And that's what happens when you're the best. And I don't think that there's a lot of people out there right now that are going to tell you that Geechee isn't the best battle rapper out currently. And it's for reasons like that. It's not just about what you say. Battling is a lot like chess. It's a strategy. You gotta plan things out. What you say, what round it's in. I mean, obviously this was a one rounder, but even the layout of his one round from the beginning compared to the end, and how he literally took you on a journey about Mike's girlfriend, about Ashley, about all of that stuff, and finishing it with his slogan and having the whole crowd join in on it. What do you do at that point in time?
Energy.
And then even when Mike was rapping, holding up the clock and saying he's going to walk off, right? Like, he's turned the whole situation into a I win, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, it's unstoppable. Yeah, you think about, like you were saying, who really cares about the angle? Like, if you were to talk to Geechee beforehand, you'd be like, I don't know, Ryden did this, and it's sort of been done before. This angle is kind of played out, and like this is a while ago. Like, I don't even know if you want to, and it doesn't even really matter. It's like it's a hammer that he uses to bludgeon his opponent to death, and the hammer could be anything, and the energy and the force comes from Geechee, and it's just, I mean, I was like. Like, oh shit, he's really fucking kicking his ass. Like,
yes.
And the energy at the end, and he's going, and I'm just like, whoa, this is really scary. Like, I don't know how.
Yeah.
Damn, I don't know if I've seen this in a long time. if ever.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, and that's one of those things too. Like, it could also have come from Mike has wanted that battle for so long, and he's kind of called out Geechee and said some shit about Geechee.
Yeah.
And so, maybe it's one of those things where you poke the wrong bear.
Yeah.
That's not something that you want to do. You don't push people like that.
Not too early. Not too early in your career, for sure. Because I mean, Mike P's been around for sure, but it's different. Obviously, we know that. Yeah, I think I want to say, because like obviously everybody's talking about this. Everybody puts themselves in Mike's shoes and says, "How would I have done that?" And what we were talking about earlier is there is a narrative. It is inside everybody's mind. Everybody's minds at the time Geechee ends his round, is in the same place. So you could, like somebody like Sharon, I think, would do it well, where where everybody's brain is. If you can find a way to get them to flip that energy and realize that it's just a battle, I don't know how you do it. I don't know even if it could be done, but there is a line of thought that lends to the fact that everybody is thinking the exact same thing. And if you can get a punch in or change the momentum in any way, you can get a reaction, because people wanted Mike to fight back, right? Like you want Mike to do just same way you want Brandon to capitalize on that moment versus Twerk. It's like we're all locked in here. If you can make something happen your way, we'll do it. But he had like Toy Story bars, and like it was like, that's not gonna do it.
That ain't it, Chief. That's not the one.
Yeah. So anyways, there's a thread here. The only way Mike P is ever getting out of this angle is he needs to lean into it. Somebody said he has to start leaning into it on some gender rights. Every girl caught a body before, comedic shit. Blah 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 blah. And it's like, I mean, maybe that's a way. But Mike actually shows up on Reddit and he answers and he says, "There's no getting out of angles." I'm quoting URL TV. Mike P is a verified account on Reddit. He says, "There's no getting out of angles. I've diffused it many times with little setups, but imagine I rap a bunch of bars about my woman and my opponent doesn't. It looks horrible. It's hard to armchair QB material you don't hear until the night of. It's also impossible to stop people from still being entertained by the angle. This was a weird one for me because there's no going back to the drawing board. I wrote great. I performed as good as I can with as much conviction as I could for a crowd that was mostly dead silent to every attempt I threw. I kept my composure. I'm also not affected by those angles. I have just forever mad/sad face." I have sad face. "I promise Geechee was the best performance of the night. Nothing I could do. Appreciate all of you." So, a little resigned. I feel like, he doesn't see, and this is immediately after the event. So, time will tell. I think with time you reflect on it, and maybe makes him better. Maybe makes him a better battler. I don't know.
It's one of those things where it's hard to nail down exactly how he's going to respond to a situation like that. Because the other thing too is he's not wrong. Like in most situations, in a 3-round battle, somebody's not going to write all 3 rounds about his girl. So he can't even counter-write and write 3 rounds, in comparison to it. So it's one of those things where does he gamble and write his entire 1-rounder for this band battle on 5 days prep for Geechee, assuming that Geechee's going to spend the entire round talking about his girl? It's kind of it's a risky situation where, like, I can see where he's coming from. And I can also see where if Geechee has an entire round, some rebuttals might not be enough.
Yeah.
You might have to have an entire round's worth of material.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Boy, that the fucking energy was just insane for that. And I know a lot of people too on the forum were saying he's got to get back out there right away, like
Yeah.
sort of cleanse it from the culture's consciousness right now. And
Yep.
I don't know. What do you think about that? Like, just Mike just jumping back in the ring.
I think he is jumping. I think he's got a battle with CJA on iBattle here.
Yeah, right. That was set up
pretty
before.
soon. Which obviously it's not a URL battle, but CJA is still a test. He's still somebody who can do a lot of damage to you. So I think that that's something that could be good for him. But again, if he does really
very well
well
received there too, right? I mean, he's in iBattle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the issue being, though, if Mike does good on iBattle against CJA, everyone goes, well, he could do it on a small league, but he doesn't do it on URL. And so I think that him going back out there is a good idea. I don't think there's lots of people that are going to watch that and go, we don't ever want to see him again. You know, I think him having another match, probably a 3-rounder, and maybe against somebody that isn't in their own backyard. So I saw him posting a little bit about that too. Like, he battled T-Top in Carolina. He battled Geechee in LA. Everyone that he's taking is in their own backyards. Take Anderson Burris and see what you can do against him, because I know that battle's been talked about forever.
There's something to be said for catching a body. There's something to be said for taking a battle that is maybe not your speed and showing everybody why you're levels above. And I remember I was talking to Soul about this like a month ago. He was going on about how that in itself is a different skill. Like, if you're promoted all the time and you're getting big battles and big matches, it can be, you know, wow, will he keep up with this person? Will he keep up with this person? And then if you ever have a battle where you're the favorite, it's like you almost have to write differently. You have to prepare differently. That's a skill in itself, is to be like, listen, you know, people are expecting me to win. I have to win decisively, you know?
Yeah.
And that's, I think that's what Mike needs for sure right now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Crazy shit. What about you? You got some battles? No, you're not coming up, but what are you thinking, like title defense? Are you, there's the smoked out roster right now. There's some guys, but I don't know. I think you would probably be the favorite in every one of those title matches. I don't think I'm upsetting anybody by saying that.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to the title picture for Smoked Out, I know that we're currently doing a tournament for the developmental side, the grow house.
Great.
And then once that's complete, we're going to be doing a tournament for a title shot at me. So there's going to be people from various different divisions. Obviously, there are divisions from British Columbia all the way over to Nova Scotia here in Canada. So there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be a part of that tournament. And I'm just excited to see who comes out on top. I think that a tournament was the best way to do it too, instead of just a number one contenders match, because of what the league is like right now. So
yeah, because you're like, fuck that. Fuck somebody battling once to battle me. I don't know somebody to have to battle 4 times before they battle me. Exactly. To get all the good bars out and then come at the king.
Exactly. Plus, I have a lot of recovery left before I'm allowed to do it. So
that's fair.
I've got 3 months before my bones are healed, and then another 6 months before my soft tissue and all my muscles are healed. And I can't even breathe in all the way because of all my broken ribs. So I got to make sure that my lungs are still good and I still got, you know, the same breath capacity that I had beforehand. But man, there's nothing I want more than to be back in the ring battling right now. Like that's like all I can think about.
Well, I mean, you know, you'll get there. Those 3 months will fly by. You know they will. And we're all there with you, and wishing you the best. And I think it was really dope for you to jump on and kill some time with me on the channel and talk this shit. And and we'll have to do more, and I don't know, do more battle rap shit. Keep you in the loop.
Of course, bro. I appreciate you reaching out and asking me to hop on.
Very cool. Okay, well, this has been us. It's Pathogenic. Follow Pathogenic at Pathogenic GG on Twitter. And are you on Instagram? What's your thing?
On Instagram, it's just my real name, just Jacob_Gregoric. So
Gregoric. There he is.
Yep.
Check him out and follow us. We got our links on Twitter. There's a Discord link in the sidebar, and we're on Instagram as well. All of this will be in the YouTube description. And subscribe, all the good stuff. And we'll catch you next time. Thank you, Pathogenic, for jumping on with us.
No problem. Thank you for having me on, Cope.
We'll do it up. Bang, bang.